Hey guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your support. I greatly appreciate it. This is the daily forecast. It is for all signs and it's intended for whoever sees it whenever you see it. It is originally created for Friday, the 11th of February. So for those of you that follow along daily, we're sort of building upon the Sunday reading, which you'll find in the lower left-hand corner at the end of this reading. That's the underpinning sort of overlook at Sunday of what the week has to come, right? And then these sort of are the other energies that are at play each day. So for those of you that are new, that's what I'm referring back to. You can watch that video in the lower left-hand corner. If you're new to me, please hit the thumbs up button, leave me a question or comment, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, all of that stuff. Check out the daily drop-down menu too, because in there's just stuff I want you to think about, the decks that I use, ways to support the channel, things like that. And share out the channel for those of you that do watch on a regular basis. You never know which of your friends might actually watch a video that you post that might bring them to my channel. On your Instagram feeds or wherever. I am on Instagram, but I'm not the biggest of Instagrammers. I don't quite understand it. It's like, to me, ADD theater. It's like, I don't know, Facebook on steroids. It's really weird. So, it's like all these rabbit holes that I just like, I'm like, why do we do this? And most of it's like all filtered and kind of not real anyway. So it's all projections, but regardless. Anyways, let's just, this reading, that's more my personal views. Nothing against Instagrammers. It's just, I don't know. I guess I prefer face-to-face. So, let's get into this and see what the cards want us to know. Oh, the other thing I always say, too, is, if this works for you, and if this makes sense to you, I speak in vague terms, or in broader terms, I should say, because it is a collective reading, right? It's intended for all of you, so I try not to get too super specific about stuff. I use examples of situations and things like that. But I want it to be able to reach as many viewers as possible so that they can apply it to their lives in ways that may validate or support them, right? I don't want these readings to make the decisions for you. I want it to help support you in your decision-making process. You want to be utilizing your free will. That's the whole point of being here, is choice and free will and experience and learning and evolving as a soul, right? So you don't want some like goofball behind the camera on YouTube telling you what to do, essentially. So just be careful with that. Although I am a goofball, and you'll have a lot of fun here. Beyond that, and if it doesn't work for you, if like what I'm saying here doesn't fit with your life, or you're like, you know what, this doesn't seem like this is for me, trust that intuition. You might be working on something different at this time, and it just may not be your video, and that's okay. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. You're not doing anything incorrectly or any of that. It's just, this video might be more in alignment with somebody else, or it might be more in alignment with you at another date and time, when you see it later, okay? So let's see what's going on here with these cards. I'm going to say this, there's a bit of friction in the cards. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it could be me. I just lost my female bulldog yesterday. So, well, not yesterday, the night before yesterday. So it's been a little bit, but it could be me being a little bit off, but I hope not. I try and retract my energy from these readings as much as possible, but I am part of the collective ultimately, so, there's that. All right, so let's see what's going on here. And our card is the Ace of Fire. All right, so we have seen 3 aces this week. We've seen, I believe we started with, did we not start with the Ace of Wands? Let me just double check that. Not Wands, Swords. We did. On Sunday's reading was the Ace of Swords, right? Which is the underpinning of the early part of this week, which was this clarity of thought, new communication. And then we got, on Wednesday in the midweek, we got the Ace of Earth, right? Which would be sort of the transformation, or those new thoughts that were underpinning our new ways of thinking, or our new ways of perceiving things, could actually be transforming sort of what we're experiencing at the material plane, right? I mean, just as a very broad overview, right? Now we have this Ace of Spirit, or the Ace of Spirit, Ace of Wands, or the Ace of Fire, as this is a card is called. What's interesting to me about this is yesterday we had the Lady of Fire, or the Queen of Wands. She arrived, and my dog also was a Leo, so she was, and definitely thought she was the boss or the queen of the household. You could see that in her personality. But with the Lady of Fire, right? She's sort of like the queen aspect is cups from yesterday's reading, and fire is spirit. Right, ultimately, wands is the element of spirit. So it's sort of like the marriage of our emotions and our spirit kind of coming together and working in our favor, or working productively for us, assessing situations and moving us forwards in ways that maybe we feel a bit more empowered or a bit more emotionally connected to. Right, that's just like sort of an overview of where I kind of feel like these cards are going for us as a collective whole. Now we see the Ace of Fire here, right? Aces always are about the self, in my opinion. Not necessarily all tarot readers, I believe, feel that way, but because it associates with the number one, I think of the self, right? So it's very easy for me in my mind to bring the ace back to the self. Aces are always new, and they're new beginnings, they're new happenings, and they oftentimes come out of nowhere, right? They're like sort of a new offer or a new experience that we didn't see coming, or that we're in the midst of, and we are adapting to, learning about, enjoying, right? Aces are oftentimes positive experiences too. They're not necessarily negative cards. They are out of the blue, out of the box. Boom! Wow, this is great. Now, this being an Ace of Wands, it would be associated more with our spirit and how we kind of, where we feel kind of intuitively or emotionally drawn towards whatever it is that we desire. And yesterday's grounding stone was the word desire. When I see three aces in a week, to me, and we're talking about the ace of mental realm, right? The ace of swords, then the ace of the material realm, ace of earth or pentacles, and now we're seeing the ace of fire. To me, it feels like the theme here, or what the cards might be telling us, is that it's time to turn stuff over, right? To turn the page, or end the chapter that we were maybe in and move into the new, right? Move into the next. It looks like trajectories should be shifting for people. I mean, just to use myself as an example, losing my dog yesterday was a trajectory shift, or 2 days ago was a trajectory shift, right? It greatly shifted the energy in the household, even though I have 5 other dogs. It creates a difference, right? It creates a shift that you don't see coming, and it opens up different alternatives that weren't necessarily there. Does that make sense? You know, some aren't so positive, like some of my sadnesses and things, but some are actually maybe a good thing, right? Because it's a little bit less chaotic in the household. I have a little bit less worry about her health at this point. So there are things that shift in a positive way from these things. I don't know how many days I'm going to be crying about this, you guys. So, this is really a good thing. Don't let my tears fool you. I'm just kind of emotional about missing my dog. But and this is the thing. Like, I got to say this. She's still with me in spirit. It was just her corporal being, like her body, that is passed, right? Oh, sorry, it's time to get up. I had an alarm set. I was up early. Okay. So what I feel like this is for the general collective, right? Let's take my stuff back out of it. Let's pull me back out of it, and let's put this back to the collective. I feel like there's an opportunity here where if we are contemplating making a turn, a change, a shift, or something is being presented to us in a way, first through thought, then through like opportunity, like physical opportunity, i.e. offers. And those offers can come to us in many different ways, right? In the midweek, in that Ace of Earth, if it was like, an offer of a new job or a new relationship or a new position, a promotion, a new car, a new home, something new materialistically, right? Something new that's physical. Because we started to open our minds up to the idea of something better at the early part of this week. Now, our soul is like jumped on board, right? Or our spirit has jumped on board in this Ace of Wands, and it's fire, right? Because Wands is fire. That dynamism, that action taking, that impulsivity, right, will move us forward in new and quick sort of ways. I always associate fire as, or Wands as one of the fastest energies of the deck. It burns quickly, right? So don't be surprised if stuff presents itself to you in a way where you're like, yeah, I want that. Yes, and you want it at a deep level, right? Because it's spirit or soul. So, and for each one of you, and again, like I said, this is a collective reading, so I speak broadly because this week is a week of turnover to me when we see three aces. This is a week of where we turn it over to our impulses, to our thoughts, and to the things that are being offered to us that weren't necessarily originally there, or that we find to be possibly full of potential yet surprising, right? Work with these things if you find them or if you're experiencing them, because these aces want to move you forward. They want to teach you about the self too, right? That number one, which is an ace. They want to teach you about that, a little bit more about yourself, maybe what you desire or what you want to work towards. And remember, the grounding stone for this week is vision, right? Where do we want to be? What do we want the rest of this year to look like? That's kind of that vision stone that we saw on Sunday. It's like, build the vision right now, because this new, fresh ace energy coming in at all sort of mind, body, and now spirit level is saying we can create it. That's kind of the feeling that I'm getting. It's really kind of cool, actually. So keep that in mind as you're working through this day. What attracts you, like at a, more of a gut level or a intuitional level? Where are you drawn towards? What is it you desire? And then, hold that vision, hold those thoughts positively, freshly in your mind, and then watch for the opportunities that lead you there, the physical opportunities, the offers, the advantages, the synchronicities that may take place. That's what I kind of feel like the cards are trying to tell us for this week. All right, so let's see what the Seeker Oracle has to say. Whoa, I love it. Not so black and white. What a great card. So I think things aren't necessarily quite, it says not so black and white, okay. Things may not be so set in stone, especially with all these aces in hand, right? And what I mean by that is that aces always bring new, unexpected opportunity. We have to be looking at it or open to it, rather than thinking in terms of, like, say, black and white thinking or right and wrong thinking, or I can't do that because I don't have this, right? If we're stuck in that trap, that ace of air at the beginning of the week, the ace of swords, is the thoughts that should have been opening up. And then the sort of secrets coming from the high priestess underneath all of that, right? Her wisdom, her spiritual wisdom is also what's stimulating, to me, in my opinion, this ace of fire right now. She's bringing in that spiritual information. She underpins this right now. And then our last card, which we ended out with, was the Four of Swords, right? Which is that mental contemplation and meditation. So we could be in that place of mentally contemplating very seriously and quietly, right? Not necessarily letting in outside opinions about what it is we want and how it is we want it and what our vision looks like. And then don't get stuck in the black and white of it all. Don't get stuck in the, I can't do that because that's not possible, or I don't have those resources, or, I can't do that because my boss won't let me, or that would be black and white thinking. You need to open it up a little bit more right now this week, because these aces are saying it's out there for you. The high priestess is saying, think outside of the box or listen to the secrets from within, right? And so is that Four of Swords energy. That Four of Swords is about internal mental contemplation through meditation or dialogue within one's own self about what's going on, rather than the opinions of others. Make sure you're not necessarily taking on, others' experiences and applying them to your experience, right? I can't go after that job promotion. Bob did last week and he didn't get it. I'm not going to get it. Bullshit. Don't think so black and white, right? Think outside of the box. Let the aces carry you. Let the newness, the opportunity, the excitement, the thrill of it all carry you. Look at those bright colors in that zebra, right? There's a vibrancy there. There's a pulse happening in him that's so much more different than how we would normally depict him, like caught up in the black and white nature of, say, polarity, right and wrong, left and right, good and bad choices. Don't get caught up in these things. Remember, every choice along the way, we've seen that card, The Seeker's Journey, a lot. Every choice along the way is an opportunity to grow and learn. All right, so not so black and white. Let's read that really quick. And this is where we build the vision, and then the vision gets built this week, and then we start to like maybe lay the foundation or groundwork and take the action towards moving towards that vision, whatever that vision is for you personally. And that vision can be around any one thing or multiple things at once, but like live in the feeling of that, live in the spiritual like draw of that, make it happen for you. Okay. So dualistic dichotomies, good versus evil, right versus wrong, normal versus abnormal. We'd all like to believe that all aspects of our lives are so easily defined, so cut and dried, but it is not so black and white. Even the most simple of decisions may require deeper consideration than first anticipated. That deeper consideration is the Four of Swords energy that we have underpinning this. Okay, guys? A seemingly simple situation may have a complex cause. Reality is more nuanced than dichotomies. Duality creates a divisive state between black and white, but between black and white exists an infinite spectrum of colors. There is no division or separation. There is the whole rainbow. Every experience, every situation, every moment is more vibrant color than black and white, and in color resides both the complexity and the truth. I don't have my glasses on. For all that we see, there is more that we do not see and need to discover. That would be a bit of the High Priestess's energy, and also the Four of Swords. Understand that sometimes two who believe they are right can both be right. People can do wrong for all the right reasons and right for all the wrong reasons. Medicine, for one, may be poison to someone else. A process that works for you might not work for anybody else because we are all different. Not one of us sees the world in the way that you do. Put an end to black and white thinking. It is divisive. Instead, replace it with a more encompassing process that embraces multiple perspectives, compassion, and empathy. All right, let's look for the grounding stone. I also like it coming in on 211, right? The reading for 211, which to me 11 is a master number day, so you don't boil that down. So that's kind of beautiful. And then this is this is here because it's on a black and white stone of snowflake obsidian, right? So we have a representation of black and white, reminding us not to think too black and white. The word is sharing. And I think sharing, where this comes in here, is like sharing within our thoughts, right? Through that Four of Swords energy that underpins this. Sharing ourselves, our ideas, our new spiritual desires, the new possibilities that are open to us, right? Quit limiting ourselves. When we share, we are open, right? When we ground in that idea of sharing, we are open to the possibilities. We are not stuck in black and white thinking. When we ground in both, like say, black and white, or the polarity of black and white, and all of the colors in the spectrum in between, hence the snowflake obsidian, then we are open to everything that's available to us that we are potentially creating from within our spirit, right? Because we are creators, and we need to remember that. We are creating our experience as we live it. So share that within yourself, with yourself, and then out into the world, and see where that takes you today, okay? That is your forecast for the day. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. Leave me a question or comment. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, and have a wonderful, wonderful day, you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.